Hey there! So if you're trying to find the right dog trainer here in West Sacramento, you have come to the right place. Think of this as your practical guide to making a really confident, smart decision for both you and your dog.
Let's just picture it for a second. You're taking these really relaxed walks along the river. Your dog is greeting people politely in the neighborhood. It's just peaceful. Well, good training makes that totally possible, so let's get you there.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about what good, effective training actually looks like. Then, we'll get into the different program types, what things typically cost around here, the key questions you need to ask, and finally, we'll touch on some local rules and resources.
Okay, let's start with the basics. Before you even think about picking a trainer, it really helps to understand what modern, effective training is all about.
You're going to hear the term positive reinforcement a lot, and for good reason. It's really the standard now. It's all about rewarding your dog for doing the right thing, which builds a ton of trust and just makes learning stick. You really want to avoid any trainers who use fear or pain or intimidation. The humane methods are just, well, they're safer and they work better in the long run.
Now here's something you might not know. California doesn't have an official licensing system for dog trainers. That's why these certifications are so important. They're a clear sign that a trainer has actually invested in their education and is serious about professional standards. All right, so you know what kind of training philosophy to look for. Now let's figure out the right format. See, different programs are designed to solve different problems, and the best one for you really just depends on your dog and what you're trying to achieve.
Your two most common options are going to be group classes or private lessons. Group classes, they're fantastic for practicing polite behavior with all the real-world distractions of other dogs and people. Private lessons, on the other hand, they're perfect for zeroing in on issues that happen right there in your home, like your dog jumping on guests or that classic countersurfing habit.
And then there are some more specialized choices. A board and train is like a really immersive boot camp for your dog. Day training is a great middle ground where a professional does a lot of the work. And of course, puppy classes are absolutely essential for getting your new little one started off right with socialization and all those basic life skills.
Okay, let's talk about the practical side of this, the budget. Just knowing the typical costs in the West Sacramento area will help you plan things out.
Here's a look at what people are generally paying as of 2025. As you can tell, the costs can vary a whole lot depending on the service. A series of group classes might run you a couple $100, while a really intensive board and train program is, a much bigger financial commitment. These prices will also change based on a trainer's experience and their credentials.
All right, this next section is your action plan. When you actually get on the phone with a potential trainer, you want to be ready with the right questions. These are probably the most important things you need to cover. You want to ask about their methods. Make sure it's positive reinforcement. Ask about their credentials. You need to understand how they're going to tailor the plan specifically for your dog and how you'll both know you're making progress, and obviously get all the details on the total costs and find out what your homework will be between your sessions.
Finally, let's bring all of this back to our community here. Being a responsible dog owner in West Sacramento means knowing the local rules and, just as important, knowing where you can go to practice all these new skills.
So these are the big ones to remember. Your dog needs to be on a leash pretty much everywhere except for designated dog parks. All dogs have to be licensed through Yolo County and have their current rabies shot. And just remember, excessive barking can become a real neighborhood issue, which, by the way, is definitely something a good trainer can help you with. So where can you go to put all this into practice? Well, Bridgeway Lakes Community Park is perfect for working on that recall in a safe, fenced area. And the Sacramento Riverwalk, that's an amazing real-world classroom for practicing loose leash walking with bikes and joggers all around. And of course, Yolo County Animal Services is your go-to for all the official stuff like licensing.
With just a little research and finding the right professional to partner with, you can absolutely reach your goals. I wish you the best of luck on your training journey. Having a well-behaved, confident dog is going to make every part of your life here in West Sacramento better, from just relaxing at home to enjoying our beautiful parks and riverfront trails with your family and friends.